Hey everybody, what's going on? Wanted to do a quick little channel update that I was supposed to do like a day or two ago, but I kind of put it off just because I wasn't really just didn't really want to make it. But this is a channel update, but it's going to be more of a channel update more towards the end because first I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this Mass Effect 3 Day 1 DLC. And there have been a lot of people complaining about it, and I think it is completely stupid on two things. I think it's completely stupid for there to be Day 1 DLC, especially when it could have been included on all the discs, not just the special editions or the limited editions or anything like that. It should have been included on every single copy of Mass Effect 3. But I think it's also stupid that people are trying to boycott the game and bitching about it just because they have nothing better to do, just because they don't want to spend an extra $10. Because the reality is, $10, I mean, you don't have to get the DLC right away. You can, save up $10, which I don't think is that hard, and get the DLC. So you can always get it later. The DLC, is they've said, isn't important to the Mass Effect 3 story, but it is, of course, being what it is, it's going to be important in the Mass Effect 3 universe as a whole. But to the story, no. But what I wanted to go over real quick is a lot of people are trying to boycott the game, trying to boycott EA. They're trying to hate on EA, and I can guarantee you it is not just EA's fault. I think that BioWare and EA are both at blame. Now, EA is personally my favorite publisher. I love EA games. I love Dead Space. I really liked Bulletstorm. I really liked Shadows of the Damned, which was, a lower title that didn't really get any advertising. But when it was released, I loved that game. That game was awesome. It got really good ratings. I think it was by one of the creators of the Resident Evil series. And you could definitely tell it had a lot of things similar with it. But, EA releases a lot of good games, and they're my personal favorite publisher. But are they perfect? No. You have to understand, at the end of the day, EA is still a company, and they need to make money. So, there's a lot of people, over the past while, people have complained that EA's little online multiplayer activation code that you have to have. A lot of people complain about this. I don't personally like it either, but I don't bitch and moan about it because I understand why they do it. The reason they do it is because when you go to GameStop and you buy their games used, and you buy like EA titles used, you are basically denying EA and the developer of that game money. That is why they include the online pass in the first place. And it's not really much of a problem because you're going to spend most likely even more money buying a used copy and then buying the activation code than buying the game new as a whole anyway. Because when you get a used game at GameStop, the game will probably be like $5 less than it is new. So, you may as well spend the extra $5 and get a new copy with a free activation code than buying a used copy with having to spend about $5 extra getting the activation code, because you buy the game used, which is usually $5 less. Well, then you pay the $5 to match the price, and then you pay the extra $5, which is to get the rest of the online activation code. So, basically, I don't like that you have to do that, but you basically are taking money from the publisher and the developer of that game when you buy a game used, when you might as well buy the game new anyway, because it's not that much cheaper to get the game new than it is used. And a lot of times I understand, sometimes on older games, GameStop, for instance, probably won't have a newer copy of that game. They'll just have used copies in stock. And in that case, I would just order a new copy of the game online, because why would you want to get the chance of getting a used disc from GameStop that can be scratched all to hell and you GameStop's personal guarantee, this disc is guaranteed to work thing, is not always correct. I mean, sometimes they'll give you completely cracked discs, and that's why I don't get used games from GameStop at all. I like GameStop for their pre-order exclusives and their pre-order services and their new games. I don't like them for their used game service. I don't like used games in general, just because I don't like it when my disc is all scratched up. I personally take really good care of my game discs and my CDs. I have them on a shelf. I keep all my discs safe. I'm a freak with that. I really don't like scratched discs. But that's just me. But you guys got to understand why they do that. So, I don't like it either, but that's just something I've had to deal with. And even though I don't like it, I deal with it because I know it is taking money from them. Because, again, at the end of the day, EA and the developer are trying to make money. Now, in the case of Mass Effect 3 and their Day 1 DLC, I don't think it's completely BioWare's fault. I don't think it's completely EA's fault. I think they both were like, hey, why don't we release the Day 1 DLC? And I think they probably did it maybe to cover up some losses on BioWare's, on a previous title that BioWare did, or maybe a game that didn't do so well that another developer within EA released. I think the possibility could be BioWare is trying to cover up from the losses that they suffered from Dragon Age 2, because Dragon Age 2 didn't do nearly as good as they thought it would, because the game wasn't nearly as good as it should have been. So this is, it's probably not this instance, but that's just an example of why they both probably collaborated on this and said, hey, let's release a Day 1 DLC extra to make up for the losses from whatever. I think that's just one of the possibilities. I don't think one of them is just to blame. Now, I love BioWare and EA. They both release fantastic games. BioWare makes awesome games. EA has developers under them that make amazing games every time. And there's a lot of people out there who are saying that EA just rushes their games to get it on the shelf so they can make money. I think that is a bunch of complete bullshit. It's stupid. You see more top shelf games that do very well from EA than you do from any other developer. EA releases quite a few games a year, and quite a few of them do very well and sell quite a lot. And it pisses me off when people say that EA rushes their games, because EA gives just about every game at least 2 years, which is ample time for them to make their damn game. You see, with Dead Space, you see the first one came out in 2008, the second one just came out in the beginning of 2011. Is that really rushing a game? No. From Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3, there's I think there's pretty close to a 2-year gap in between that, and they even started on Mass Effect 3 before Mass Effect 2 was released. So they've had plenty of time to work on Mass Effect 3. EA has no problem giving them time to work on their games. And of course there is a deadline. They'll delay the release of a game. And usually when they delay a game, when it's this close to release in the first place, it's by a week or two. But sometimes they will delay a game. And of course there is, a deadline that they have to meet, because EA is giving the developer money in order to make this game, and they need to get their money back, which all leads up to, again, they are both companies and they need to make money. At the end of the day, BioWare wants people to be entertained with their game, because that means more people will buy it, which means more money will go to them. That is mainly what they are concerned about, because BioWare and EA are both, well, I wouldn't say BioWare's, I wouldn't really say BioWare's a company, but you get the point. They still need to make money. And so does EA. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of this stuff that goes on. But at the end of the day, they both need to make money, because if they don't make money, you're not going to see any more awesome games from BioWare. And you're not going to see EA. I mean, people are always ragging on EA. I mean, look at Activision. They release a goddamn Call of Duty game every year, and you don't call that rushing? I mean, that's just fucking stupid. I mean, like, okay, people will get into the specifics of, the developers of Call of Duty, how you have Treyarch and Infinity Ward, and Treyarch only comes out with a Call of Duty game like every other year, which is technically 2 years. But the thing is, Treyarch doesn't start working on their next Call of Duty game until Infinity Ward's Call of Duty comes out, because they need to wait to see what's in Infinity Ward's Call of Duty to see what they can improve on and see what was so popular. And plus, I mean, if you think about it, it wouldn't make any sense for them to start making their next Call of Duty game when theirs is still the most played at the moment, because the next one isn't released yet. So people just have to think first. I mean, so Treyarch probably gets barely over a year to make their next Call of Duty game. And then same thing with Infinity Ward, and there's one released every year. And you guys don't call that rushing? No. And you guys just need to take it for what it's worth. I mean, the only reason Activision doesn't require an online code is because really Call of Duty is Activision's only real, major release a year, and they aren't going to take the chances of releasing a code that people may have to buy separately if they buy the game used, when they don't really have to anyway, because they're going to release 3 or 4 DLC that cost $15 each. So they're screwing you over 10 times worse than freaking EA is, and I guess people don't have a problem with it as long as it's Call of Duty. So you guys just need to, I mean, not you guys specifically, but people who are trying to boycott EA. I mean, just look at fucking Activision. I mean, actually, 2011 was really good for them. They released 2 top games. They released that Spyro game with the little figurine things you put on the portal pad thing, and they're in the game. They did really good with that game. That game was a hit for kids. But also, look at it. That was probably just another way for them to earn money, too, because now parents are going to have to go buy their kids more of those little figurines so they can unlock more content out of that game. Like, really? You guys don't see this? Granted, the figurines aren't that much. I mean, there's you can get a 3-pack, and it's probably less than $10. But, I mean, still, you have to pay money for each little figurine on top of the $60, or actually, I think that game was more than $60 when it first came out. So on top of whatever it was when it first came out, they're going to have to buy those little figurines. I mean, you guys see what I'm talking about? I mean, come on. And on the case of this Day 1 DLC, just wait a little bit after Mass Effect 3's release and say, you know what, I'm going to wait, and most likely everyone else who's boycotting this DLC will get it anyway because they want it, because it is Mass Effect 3, and then I'll see what it's like, I'll hear what they have to say, I'll see what it is, and then maybe I'll get it. If it looks worth it, I'll get it. And that'll give you plenty of time to save the $10 required for the DLC. Now, I think there's an edition of Mass Effect 3 that comes with the DLC for free. It's not the digital download copy. It's not the digital download copy. It's not the regular copy. It's probably the special edition or something. I can't remember, but I know I read on this website that one of the copies does come with the DLC for free, even though it's technically not for free, because whatever edition it is, it probably costs $10 or $20 more than the regular version anyway. But, I mean, I just want you guys to think about that a little bit. I mean, I'm not trying to defend EA. No way am I a part of EA. I mean, I'm not trying to defend EA to the ends of the earth, but, I mean, you guys just gotta think a little bit. I mean, unfortunately, it's what they have to do, and it's not completely EA's fault, and it's not completely BioWare's fault. When people like a game from a developer so much, they tend to defend the developer to no end and will, bash the freaking publisher. And I don't think it's really fair. But I don't care what anyone says. Honestly, I really couldn't give a rat's ass about it. I like EA. I'm going to stick behind them as much as I can until they do completely screw themselves over, which I hope they will never do, but when that day comes, I'll know, I'm sure. But now that I have rambled on long enough, and hopefully you guys can understand a little bit, and hopefully you guys aren't too mad at me for expressing my opinion. I mean, it is my opinion. I am entitled to it, so if you're mad, shut up and go away right now. I'm entitled to my own opinion. I don't care what you think about that. Just, if you want to, leave a comment, a nice comment, and just say, hey, I disagree with you because, and then, give me your reasoning, and then chances are you should probably watch the video again because I've expressed that subject in the video. You just weren't listening and comprehending what I was saying. Now, on to the actual channel update part of this, which is going to be a lot shorter than the last, 16 minutes, is I will actually be getting Mass Effect 3. I have pre-ordered it, and I pre-ordered it like a week ago. That's why I said I need to put up this channel update, which I just delayed in making, but I did pre-order Mass Effect 3, the regular copy, so I don't know if I'll be getting the DLC or not. I most likely won't be getting it up front, just because I usually don't get DLC for a game unless it's, a game I know I'm going to play a lot, or unless it's, or unless it does, wrap around to the story, and it is kind of important. But, I mean, I'll check out the DLC a little bit before I decide to get it, or if I decide to get it. I'll check it out, and then I'll see if I want to get it or not. But, I will be getting the game. I will get it on the day it releases, which is Tuesday, March 6th. March 6th, I think. And I'll be playing a lot of it. I'll be recording it, putting it on my channel, and I'll be enjoying it. You can be damn sure of that. Whether or not I will be getting the game on like a midnight release or after I get off school, I don't know. But either way, I probably wouldn't end up recording any until I got back from school, because even if I went to the midnight release, I would still, have to get up in the morning to go to school. Just at least I would know I would have my copy at home, and wouldn't have to do it after school when I'm tired. But either way, I'd probably record some after I got home from school. I'm really looking forward to playing it. I'm really looking forward to recording it. And the demo was awesome. I think it is really good. I've played the demo. I've tried the demo on all three difficulty levels. I mean, you have story, RPG, and you have another one on there. I've played the demo on all three, and I guess the one I recorded on was the story mode, because I really like the story of Mass Effect, and I didn't really know that was an easy mode. I mean, the story of Mass Effect 3 is really good, and I like it, and I thought, hey, that's probably the perfect one for me. But the difficulty was, it was too easy, so I found that out after I went to play it again. I'm like, oh, okay, this is easy mode, basically. So I did go back and I played it on all three difficulty, and I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I died a few times, but I mean, it actually wasn't that hard on all three of them. I assume on the game it's going to be a lot harder, considering, the game is going to be several hours long compared to the demo, which is only around 45 to 50 minutes long. So, but that's all I wanted to go over. Hopefully you guys stuck around for that a little bit. I went for 19 minutes just talking, this is really long, but hopefully you guys understand this a little bit. You guys probably won't watch this because it's so long of just me talking, but if you do manage to go through all of this, I applaud you, sir. But thank you for watching this. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I hope you guys do come back to watch me and Shepard kick some ass in Mass Effect 3 next week. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.